Live from Studio 3B, it's the Pinky and the Brain Show.
The Pinky and the Brain, yeah, Pinky and the Brain. They started up a podcast so Jeremy can complain. They talk about their life, news, sports, and Twitter fights. Brandon's kinky, they're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain.
And podcasters, we are back in Studio 3B. It's me,
Back.
your host, Jeremy. I see my co-host over there grinning. Brandon, how are you?
I'm excellent.
And producer Trav?
Doing pretty good.
Good, excellent. All right, so we've got a little bit of a show lined up. I don't know if it's good, bad, or ugly. We got some stuff to talk about. You know, it is football season, so we'll get into that. This is week one as we record. The game's just kicked off. We got a couple of upcoming vacations to talk about.
Vacation.
We had a little get together last night. We're gonna hit on possibly Eminem's new CD is setting the social media all on fire.
The interwebs.
And a little bit about our show's new format. So before we get into any of that stuff, it's been a little while since we've been here, so what the hell has everybody been up to? I feel like these last few weeks have been a bit of a whirlwind. It seems like every single weekend we've got all these things, responsibilities, get-togethers. Like,
It's true.
I haven't had just a weekend just to sit around and do nothing in what seems like 6 weeks.
I know.
I know. I miss those.
And I haven't seen you in a few weeks, Brandon, before last night, so what the hell have you
Yeah.
been up to?
Nothing. I had to go up to Omaha for work for a week, and
Awesome.
fucking Omaha sucks.
Yes, that place sucks.
So they so they put me in this hotel. It's called Even. It's a part of the Marriott chain, and the story behind it is it's like a gym themed hotel. So Even is supposed to be like balance, right? So every room has a piece of workout equipment in it. So like some of the rooms have like a fucking exercise bike. Mine had like a yoga mat and a fucking exercise ball and the bands, you know?
What's funny about that is they could have put literally anything else in there and you probably would have used it.
Exactly.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the one set of things that you would never touch.
I know. Yeah, exactly. And it was just, and and I'm like, I don't know. Here's something. When I go to bed, I don't want to go to bed in a gym. All I could see everywhere was staph infection.
Can I turn this yoga ball and these bands into some sort of sex swing?
Exactly. Yes. And it was the weirdest thing. So it's called Even, and apparently and I guess even like the room numbers, all the room numbers are even. They don't have any odd numbers. And I was like, yeah, but I'm staying on the third floor. And they're like, oh well, that's the one thing we can't really control.
Well, that's absolutely false because you can go to lots of hotels that won't have a 13th floor.
Yep.
So you can fudge the numbers, I'll bet.
Yeah. So it sucked, and it was like in the middle of nowhere. I got back to my hotel room drunk. And
Omaha is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like trying to order pizza, and there's no place that fucking delivers. I was
Every work trip is you getting drunk, coming back to your hotel and ordering pizza.
Yeah.
Every single one.
So I went down to the bar, and I got this girl's number, and was trying to get her to come up to my room. And but she like,
She's like, why don't you come to my room? I'm in room 11. You're searching the entire place for that magical room 11 that doesn't exist.
yeah, and she wouldn't come up to my room.
All right. I think, okay, so we had a get together last weekend. That was pretty fun. Everybody tied on a pretty good drunk. But you weren't able to be there for that. I think you went to... Did you go to like the Renaissance Festival or something like that?
Yeah, so it was Autumn's birthday. We went to Renfest.
Yep.
It was great. I suggested shots of tequila for breakfast, and then Autumn got really drunk by about 4 o'clock, and I had to like literally carry her out of Renfest.
What beer do they serve there? I mean, do they have like regular domestic beer, or is it all their? Oh, they do.
Yeah,
okay.
they do,
But do
yeah.
they still serve them in like those huge whatever?
And
those
you
are?
can get the Steins, or you can get like
The
just the
Steins,
regular
okay.
ones.
Really?
But we found this one place that sold. It's crazy. It's cans of beer, but it was mixed drinks. So they had like a Moscow Mule, which I've never had, but it's like a ginger.
Yeah, like I got turned on to those down in Austin. Like generally they're, if you ever see people with like a bronze cup Like that's what they're generally served in. So if you've been in a bar and wondered why somebody is drinking from a bronze like handled cup, that's what they're drinking.
And I had heard a backstory about that. There was something about this guy had a copper surplus, and so maybe
they're copper.
Yeah, copper. And I think the backstory, somebody had told me this. I don't even remember who now randomly, but the guy had like an excess of copper, so he like pushed these drinks have to be served in copper just so he could sell these like copper mugs, which is ironic because nowadays copper is like a huge commodity because it's used in electronics, right? So there's like people that rob copper.
Yep.
So I worked for Kansas City Power and Light Contracting, and there was a guy that had broken in and was trying to steal copper, and apparently touched a line that was energized that he thought wasn't energized. And the guy that was telling me, he said he shot. It looked like he had. Of course, the guy died, but he said he was in the ground, like it shot him into the ground like a dart.
Jeez.
Yeah, and of course killed the guy just for some fucking copper.
Well.
So anyways, go off on this long tangent about Moscow Mules, but yeah, so we found this place and they had lime margaritas. It was like 12% alcohol for a little can of it. So I think that's what did Ottoman. 12%.
I haven't been there in probably 10 years. I bet.
Really?
Renfest, yeah.
Dude, I love it. It's like you can get so weird.
Are there a lot of kids there? Like do a lot of little kids go? Is there? I don't know. I don't even know what.
But I would say it was predominantly adults though.
Yeah, and there's the last time I went, it's been several years too, but they had like a little tent set up where we're doing like wine tastings. And they had like a bunch of like little size cups with all these different wines and you can just try a bunch.
And I guess for listeners outside of the area, Renaissance Festival, it's like a medieval fair.
Yeah, I think it travels the country.
But here in Kansas City, what I love is they've got the permanent structures. A lot of places, I don't know if they maybe set it up and tear it down, but I love Renfest there because it's actually like built.
Where is that?
It's Bonner Springs, so it's right next to Sandstone.
Right. Yeah.
Although, what do they call it now? Fucking Verizon.
Yeah.
Screw that. Sandstone. But it's out there. But I love it, dude, because I love medieval shit, like knights, and I fucking love that shit.
The fun thing
I fucking nerd
the
out.
thing to do there is like they sell like individual huge turkey legs. So you get a turkey leg in one hand, a big beer stein in the other. And like, so I think I would go again since it's been so long, but I think I'd rather wait till like October-ish when it starts cooling down.
And that was one of the things, and I think that's kind of what did Ottoman.
It was hot as shit that day.
Yeah, it was. We were sweating and drinking, and it was funny because she has like a weed vape, so we were just like fucking just smoking weed the whole time, fucking drinking.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Makes me feel fine.
And I'm pretty sure there's like they've got a sex shop. It's like a Renaissance sex shop. Like they don't have like dildos, but they have like all these corsets.
Rhino horn dildos.
Would it be sex toys that they used in medieval times? Is that what it is?
Like torture, like it's got spikes on it and shit.
Oh lordy!
But it was like leather like bustiers, and I'm like this is like a medieval Priscilla's.
All right, well, Travis, I'd ask you what you're up to, but I've seen a lot of you lately. I feel like almost every weekend we've had some reason to.
Well, last weekend, over at Drake's, we got drunk, and my vice is I get drunk and I buy domain names. So we're sitting there getting hammered, and we bought some terrible domain names. I think one of them was coochiekoozie.com. We thought it would be funny to sell koozies that either had pictures or shapes.
Some sort of coochie theme.
Yeah. And I told my wife, and she was not impressed.
Yeah, we kind of got drunk and pretended like we were 14 years old again.
Yeah, that was fun.
The other one, what was
the
other one?
Owners,
was Au Jus something or other.
Oh yeah, well it started off as JewTube.
JewTube.
We were just going to show. I don't know what we were going to show. Something.
I thought it was
related.
Josh was saying like Jewish recipes and stuff like that.
Well, then JewTube is taken. There's it's like a news feed or something. So we're like, okay, AjuTube. And then we said, okay, maybe like French, Israeli recipes or something. That's what we'll share. I think what we
derailed. Like we started coming up with all these weird different ideas. Like
I think what we ended up with was AjuTube.com can be slow motion videos of people sneezing.
Well, then I came up with like a Ashton Kutcher style prank show where we go around dumping au jus on people and like, you got au jus. So yeah, we were just like 14-year-old idiots, but that's okay.
Oh,
it helps every once in a while just to let loose and be a moron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, you missed a hell of a night.
I was getting drunk around carnies.
I don't know who had a worse night, I guess. All right. So we also last night had a little get together.
Yes.
We've talked about our friend Joe in the past. Basically, his mom, just to kind of keep up, tabs on everybody, stay up to date, see everybody's kids, see what everybody's up to. So once a year on his birthday, we would get together with her. So we did that last night. So that was a lot of fun. It's always good catching up with
Sandy retired, so she's like travels and gets to see the grandkids. So it's really nice to see her.
Yep.
And she really enjoys seeing, all of us once
Yep.
a year. So that was a lot of fun.
It was funny. She was talking about, she was like, forget how we were talking about it. She was talking about us taking over her house. Because we would just, because if you remember, people would
when
just
we were
randomly
young
show
punks?
up.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the launch pad. And especially, I remember when Joe broke his back and he couldn't leave, but he wanted company. So I remember we called it the rec hall. Because we would just, there was always like board games there was always somebody over there. Yeah, it was like a rec hall.
Yeah, that was where we would always. So like when this is really bad. I don't know if I should incriminate myself like this, but when it started in junior high, and Joe's house was the place where we'd all get so high the first day of school. Do you remember that?
Well, that morphed into getting really drunk.
Well, a lot of people stopped smoking weed like later in junior high and high school. So then we would just get hammered the very first day of school, and then go to class at like 8 a.m. And it always started at Joe's house.
Yeah,
I wonder if Sandy knows about that.
I know. And the first time I ever did, like when I first became friends with you guys, that was the first time I'd ever done that. And we got wasted. And my first class was like home ec, and we had to make like spaghetti, and I almost fucking puked because it was like it was like not agreeing with me.
To my recollection, there wasn't like a lot of beer being drank or anything like that. It was mainly everybody would bring over a bottle of something.
When you're like 18,
and we're just like
17
mixing,
years old, we don't drink beer.
mixing
We
drinks.
No, yeah, you just, and it's not, and there's no throttle. You just chug until you're wasted.
Well, we have like 30 minutes to get as wasted as we can before school and drink and drive to school.
Well,
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
nobody ever got thrown out of school? How
did
they
they not
didn't
know?
know? Like
Yeah.
how it surely it smelled like
Yeah.
because it's not like we were like, ooh, let's be discreet and like use vodka.
Yeah.
like people are drinking like Captain Morgan's and like
Yeah.
What the hell were we thinking? Like, that's sobering up.
you would always feel like hell
Oh, it
about
is.
10
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Having
I
to
guess
just sit there.
I think I was just so much of an asshole that my teachers couldn't tell the difference between a drunk Brandon and a sober Brandon.
Oh shit! All right,
Good
well,
times.
I guess that's enough debauchery for the first segment. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some more shenanigans right after this.
Do you want to get sick? Do you love getting sick? I don't either. But what I want to do is when I get the flu, I want to drink something that will get rid of my flu. And it's called Drunkborn.
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 Have you ever taken your kids to Chuck E. Cheese?
I have.
Have you ever taken your kids to stupid McDonald's Play Pal, Pay
For
Plans,
sure.
or whatever? Have you ever had sex? Oh, sorry.
Did you
Have
just
you-
said sex?
Have you ever done anything? Well, then, Orange Drunkborn is for you.
This is Drunkborn,
Drunkborn.
FDA approved.
Guess who's back? back.
Back
All right.
again.
All right, so let's see. What do we want to get into this segment? Well, we were talking about this last night, talking about being like 14-year-olds. Top shelf gay. Brandon, you and Travis kind of brought this up, so why don't you guys take it away first and explain what that is and what you guys
Well,
were
what
saying.
started it, Brandon couldn't get Tom Hardy's name right.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, that pissed Travis off.
Yeah. How dare you? No,
That's
Tom,
right.
Tom Hardy.
And then you were like, he's my man crush.
Yeah. So I don't have like a lot of those like crushes. I mean, unless you're a guy, but then I got a lot of those. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna edit this part out. Fuck you guys.
Now it's got to stay.
I know, right? No, so Tom Hardy, if you don't know who he is, he plays Bane in Batman, and then he's done a lot of movies, but
Doesn't he wear a mask in almost every movie?
well, he's coming up in Venom, and he's that's like all.
All right,
computer
anyways, that's a
animated.
side thing. So,
Yeah.
So he's my man crush for sure. He's not on social media. He's not like, out there, look at me. And if I'm gonna have a crush on a guy, he better have a damn good personality. This guy goes around rescuing dogs all over the world.
that's commendable.
Yeah.
And then Brandon, so you said you were saying something to the effect of For a crush for me, it's got to be like a top shelf gay situation. And go ahead and say what you were saying.
So I've realized that like I'm not interested in men, except
When did you realize that?
Do you ever just wonder like like maybe I am gay? I don't know. I mean,
And that's fine.
Like-
Not that there's anything wrong with that. What's that?
I mean,
Seinfeld?
yeah. Like I've dated probably 300 women, so I've never dated a guy.
Dated's a weird term for had sex with.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. You know, maybe give it a shot. You don't. I mean, I'm just saying.
But then I realized I'm like thinking about, okay, so maybe I should go out on a date with a guy. But then I realized I'm top shelf gay if I'm gay. It's got to be the best. So like Brad Pitt, I would date Brad Pitt, Channing Tatum,
Channing Tatum.
and there's a few like that. But I would actually entertain a relationship with a man if they were on that level.
Well, that's because, Brad Pitt for sure. I'm not so sure Channing Tatum fits into what I'm about to say, but that's because really, really good-looking guys almost are feminine with their facial features and
Well,
stuff.
it's
if you
true.
Think about it.
I can see that, and I think for Channing too. I read in an interview he's a really big drinker. He called himself a functioning alcoholic, and I'm like, that I'm marrying you, dude.
Well, he's from Missouri, isn't he? Or maybe he grew up in Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's from like Springfield or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and you're a Missouri fan.
Yes.
Missouri's the armpit of America.
I love it. It's so cool.
So are you leading this into some weird armpit sex fetish that I don't know about where you like fuck somebody's armpit, lube it up and just get in there?
I mean, really,
Whoever provides
that wouldn't be gay, right? If you fucked
I
somebody.
mean, that's like the dude version of titty fucking. Pity fucking.
Hey, give me a pity real quick.
It's not gay.
Oh boy.
It's not gay.
And then you guys asked me, and I'd never really considered this before, so it took me a good couple of minutes to think of somebody, and then I finally thought of somebody who mine would have to be. I think I'd have to, although this could hurt, The Rock.
The Rock.
I love The Rock,
No,
but like
you say who
Well,
you
hold
say-
on.
okay,
I
all
said
right.
The Rock first because he just seems like an overall cool dude. He's like, I've never heard a single bad thing about him. Every time I see him doing anything, he's always happy, upbeat. He likes to drink. He doesn't take himself seriously.
Yeah.
And the other one, so that's the one who would dominate me sexually. And then the other one I chose was Michael Cera because I just think he cracks me the fuck up, and I think I could dominate him sexually.
No, that's not exactly what you said.
What did I don't remember then?
You said something like, if you tried to get some, he wouldn't be able to fight back or something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
But which is strange because honestly, Jeremy, I see you going for black men.
Interesting.
Yeah. I see you as like a Wesley Snipes guy.
I'm a life is like Skittles type of guy. Taste the rainbow, baby. Oh, interesting. And then you had a funny thing to say about Michael Cera that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw this meme once, and it's hilarious. Michael Cera, as an actor, is like, it looks like he just showed up accidentally on a film set. and they're like, you're in this scene, and he's just like too awkward to back out of it. And now he's just a mainstream actor, like against his will.
Something about his particular brand of comedy cracks me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like in what was that movie? This Is the End. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like he was fucking hilarious in that movie.
Yes.
Like
Super
he
bad.
died close to the end
bad.
or close to the beginning, but like
Yeah.
he had some great scenes where he's
he's like a
blowing
maniac.
blowing
Yeah.
coke in the bathroom with these chicks and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
But- all right. Well, we've also got a couple of upcoming trips that I'd
Yes.
like to talk about. So this this coming Wednesday, I will be heading to Seattle, Washington to go on a cruise. This is my second year in a row going on the Corolla cruise. Last year it left out of Miami.
So I thought it's not a Caribbean cruise. I thought
No,
it was-
last year it was. Last year
Oh,
we
okay.
left out of Miami, stopped by in Key West, and then went on to Cancun. It was an absolute fucking blast. I'd never heard of these types of cruises. I guess they're pretty kind of gaining popularity right now where like bands will like go on like sort of like washed
celebrity
up bands kind of. I don't know
cruises
washed
or-
up, but like older bands
Yeah.
where it's not like hysteria. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't book a Justin Timberlake cruise because it would be mass hysteria. But like older bands, like
Go on a cruise with
But-
one of the members of Leonard Skinner.
but like so it was really fucking awesome. And one thing I didn't anticipate was when you go on a cruise like this where there's a large group of people all going for the same thing, it's like an instant icebreaker. So like
True.
you're all there for the same reason. You obviously have something in common because you're there for the to see the same person basically.
Yeah.
And so immediately within being there the first night, I had met all these awesome people, like met people that I still even talk to this day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael. Ugh, I can't talk. We're cut that part out.
Nope, you're not going to let me cut my part out. Fuck you.
Screw you. Shout out to Mike. And they're going on this one too, so we'll be meeting them early up in Seattle. Spend a couple days just kind of checking Seattle out, and then it stopped
nice.
by Victoria, British Columbia.
Nice.
So that's kind of fun.
Do they have
I'm looking
legalized?
forward to that.
What do they have? Oh, in
I think
Washington,
Canada.
they do, don't
Well,
they?
Washington
so
State is-
Washington
yeah, they were like
is
the
legal,
first
and then
ones.
Canada went fully legal, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Recently.
Recreational legal. Yeah.
But and really, so kind of back to your point, yeah. I mean, because think about it. If you're like Adam Carolla, I mean, I feel like there are certain comedians or whatever. Now he's, I guess, kind of just a personality in general. But think about comedians and stuff. I feel like it takes a certain personality, like a Louis C.K. It takes a certain personality type to like that. And so it does seem like you would kind of, you would already have something in common, because I feel like there's certain personalities that go for certain comics. Because a lot of comics are offensive to a lot of people,
Right.
And those are the kind of people
so,
you don't
like-
want to fucking talk to, anyways. If you're gonna
Right.
get offended by a joke,
So like
get the fuck
Adam
out of here.
Carolla gets a bad rap. People call him like racist and sexist and homophobic because he's willing to like speak some uncomfortable truths.
Yeah.
like for instance, he'll say, focus on family and education will bring poor people out of poverty, and people are like, he's done CNN interviews, and like the
Yeah.
host is like, well, surely it's not that simple. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
Focus on family and education, and most of these issues will go away.
Yeah.
So he gets branded these things, but
Yeah.
you know how I can tell it's not true? It's because when I met all these people, a real racist would have a bunch of fans that came there with questionable character. Like racist would show up because he's the racist guy that everybody would like. Every fucking person I met
Like
there
a
was
Trump rally.
Yeah, exactly. So like every fucking person I met there was like a salt of the earth, cool as shit motherfucker. Like there was no ego, there was no anything. And like I guess he tours around the country doing shows and stuff, and he says he'll talk to the staff of whatever venue they're in, and he says they always tell him how great his fans are, like how well they tip, and how for the most part they're all very well behaved. And he's like, what do you mean, like other comedians will come through and it's not like that? And they're like, no, not at all. Like
Think about like Andrew Dice Clay's fans.
yeah.
That's probably a rowdy crowd.
Well, Adam Carolla, he knows that no one's off limits. Like, just because you're a minority or not a minority, like, you can be made fun of, you can be called out. It doesn't matter where you're
gay,
from.
straight,
it doesn't-
man, woman.
That has nothing to
Yeah.
do with anything. Like, it doesn't.
Well,
just because
wouldn't
you're
you-
one of those things doesn't mean you're off limits.
Wouldn't
to
you
either
say
make fun
true
of or call out.
equality
Exactly.
is? Wouldn't you say true equality is being treated as everyone
Yes.
else is?
Well, and that's, I obviously can't speak for every minority, but just I feel like minorities, what they're saying is they don't want special rights, they want equal rights.
Exactly.
And I think that basically means you're on equal playing field with everybody else. You can be made fun of, you can be called out just the same as everybody else too, but
Sure.
you also have the same rights. So
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's
And
why.
that's what Adam Carolla, that's his approach, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I've always prided myself on fighting women because there are equals, and of course I always win. But
Well, that's funny. He had a
As long as they're willing to fight you. then that's-
on his show last week. He was talking about how he got approached to do like a celebrity boxing thing. And he's like, "Would you consider doing it?" And he can box. He used to be a boxing instructor and stuff.
Oh, I had no clue.
And so he was like, "Yeah, I'd consider it. Who's it against?" And they were like, "China." And he's like, "Wait, that chick from the WWE? And he's like, no, I'm not going to fight her. He's like, this is a lose-lose proposition for me. If she whoops my ass, I'm fucking pathetic. If I beat her up, I'm an asshole. This is lose-lose.
Well, who would win, Joe Rogan or Adam Carolla?
Oh, Joe Rogan
Yeah.
with the jiu-jitsu, no doubt.
No, but that's the thing. In a boxing
In a
match.
boxing match.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was also a champion kickboxer, so I'm sure he knows how to throw those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw down too. But so they ended up getting Joey Buttafuoco to fight her. But, so
And
that's
Chi-
hilarious.
She made a porno and she's dead
now she's dead.
Yeah.
Who is?
China. She made a porno.
China's dead?
Yeah, and she's dead.
Shit.
I don't know. It was like overdose
I think
or
her
suicide
clitoris
or something.
burst.
Yeah.
Anywho, so anyways, so I leave for this Wednesday. We cruise Friday, get back Monday. I have one day to recuperate. That's Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning we're all flying to Mexico.
Oh, yeah. That's Cancun, Mexico. Well, it's Playa Mujeres, which
Playa
is outside
Mujeres.
of Cancun.
Yeah, so we fly into Cancun Airport and then get driven by shuttle bus to.
And I think
wherever
Playa
this place
Mujeres is north of Cancun. Where we normally
Yeah, I
go
think
is
north-
Playa del Carmen, which is
Yes.
south of Cancun. Playa Mujeres is north.
So, a good friend of ours, Josh, getting married. So, in all, there's like 28 people going. So, this
Really?
is going to be a epic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it's usually epic when it's just like 8 or 10 of us. Like,
We've gone
Yeah.
on a couple of those. Yeah, this will be interesting. And we do plan on recording.
Oh, yeah,
a little
so
bit
we're-
while there. Jeremy will
so we're going to be
probably-
recording podcasts. We're trying to work out the sort of the logistics of all this, but we're going to record. We're going to try to record, several times, like, in the morning, especially before everybody's up and around.
Before me and Jeremy are drunk.
Yes, and before me and Brandon are hammered. But we'll also get some good hammered
You know what?
stuff, too.
The first person to pass out, I'm going to put a lavalier mic on them and record their snoring, and I'll just sprinkle it in here and there without you guys knowing.
So we'll try to we're going to try to release these possibly as we record them
Yeah.
while we're still there. So
Yeah.
for that week, you might get like 2 or 3 mini
There'll definitely
episodes.
be some Instagram posts, some videos and things like that, but definitely some podcasts.
Yes, and
too.
I imagine we will come back with some pretty funny stories to tell.
I hope that there's another guy that comes walking up from the beach to sell us drugs again. that made that trip really fun.
That guy should be on the podcast.
Yes.
Get that guy a microphone.
Hey, cigars, cocaine. Wait, what was that last?
Marijuana?
Marijuana.
Girls, what you want? I got it.
Yeah, whatever.
So that ought to be fun. I'm hoping beyond all hope that I actually make it back alive from this thing, because I've got basically I've got 2 weeks straight of nothing but binge drinking ahead.
Yes,
Does that scare you
A little bit.
it does.
Well, I'm worried that I'm going to blow myself out on the cruise and then be in rough shape the first day or so in Mexico. But
No, we can't let that happen.
Yeah.
We're on the same flight out,
Yes.
even though I don't think we're sitting next to each other.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I think we got next
Me
to
and
each
you
other.
are.
You guys are. I think I'm close to our friend Chris and Erica
Okay.
on the way there, but then I leave a day earlier than you guys, so
Yeah,
whatever.
But
anyway.
luckily, Jeremy, you're like me. You get a couple drinks in us. We're we're wired for sound.
Well,
you know, like
we
even
have
if
a
you
layover, so
You
there's
know, we might
plenty of drinking there.
even possibly throw some lavalier mics on us in the plane ride down there.
Yeah. Because last time we went down there, me and Jeremy woke up and got hammered before we even got on the plane.
Remember, I lost my wallet, or my maybe not. Yeah, I think I did lose my whole entire wallet at the airport before we even left Mexico. Thank God my passport was in a separate pocket.
Yeah.
You lost your wallet all the way to Mexico.
Yes.
And on one of the flights, I guess I was wasted and I was trying to go to the bathroom, but it was the cockpit, and I was trying to get into the cockpit, and everybody else, like Drake and everybody, they said all we saw was you just getting walked back to your seat with your arms up, going, I don't know. I was like escorted back to my seat because it looked like I was trying to get in the cockpit.
Well, if we put lavalier mics on you, we can hear the other passengers around you telling you guys to shut the fuck up the whole time. So
Oh yeah, and then that was the same trip. Me and Jeremy were splitting a pair of earbuds listening to Eminem, and it was so loud you could hear it like on the whole plane. And I think the flight attendant kept coming over to us. She's like, "Can you turn that down?" And you would turn it down like 1. You would like hit down 1, and just the whole plane had to listen to me, and you would listen to Eminem the whole flight.
Well, good, because he just released a new one, so maybe we can put that on everybody again. So, all right. So the last quick thing we'll touch on this segment. Oh, it's so glorious! Football is back, baby. Yes, it is. Week 1, it's going on right now as we speak. We're probably getting close to halftime of the noon games.
I wonder, am I the only male in the world that doesn't give a shit about football? It feels like it.
I don't know. It's just football season's so great. This time of year, it starts cooling down. It's hoodie season.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than just, sitting around. I mean, this seems right up your alley. Like, you wake up, you start drinking, you cook some food, and especially when it starts getting cold, I'll make my world's famous chili. And Jason, I'll throw you in there too. It's half and half our recipe. So, and then you just sit around and drink and watch football. I mean, what a way to spend a fucking Sunday.
It's true. And Sundays are the best for drinking.
Yep.
Usually zero obligations.
Yep.
that's why I take Mondays.
And what
off.
sucks about it, what sucks about it is Monday morning, like, Sunday, you little bitch. You
Yes.
can't decide if you're a weekday or a weekend.
Yeah, it's true. And it's like, oh man, how can I make my Monday better? How about having a hangover?
Yeah, so for those in the Kansas City area, we won't dive too deep into any like football matchups or anything nerdy like that, but this is the first year the Chiefs have had their own drafted first-round quarterback since I was 3 years old. 1983 was the last. So for many Chiefs fans, they've been waiting their entire life for this moment. And I could not be more excited to get this underway.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be a lot of mistakes, but also
We can live with that.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, we're hoping, who's the Houston quarterback? What's his name?
Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson. Maybe a little bit of that, without the injury, I guess, but
So-
it'll be fun.
All right, so hopefully next time you hear from us, it'll be with the Chiefs being 1-0. So, all right, we're going to take another quick little break, and we'll be back with that last third segment. If I could choose between
Preface on it.
ice hitting my teeth or my weird uncle taking me into the broom closet, I think I would take my weird uncle taking me into the broom closet, because ice hitting your teeth is like the grossest thing of all time. And we're back for the third and final segment for today. All right, we're going to get into a little bit of a new show format and just hit you with some quick hitter fun stuff, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so the new format is with our crazy travel schedules coming up, with football season, with just general busy life,
Debilitating alcoholism.
We're gonna basically just start recording these things whenever we get the urge to, instead of necessarily a rigid schedule of once per week. Now it still might be once per week. Sometimes it might be every other week.
Yeah.
Definitely, we won't go longer than 3 weeks. I would say that is,
we shouldn't go longer.
I wouldn't say, but we'll still try to pump these out as much as we can, but just not so much on a really rigid schedule. I think overall the product will be better for it. So,
Yes.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody listening. And it's just, we thought that we were going to be able to probably get to like a more, regular schedule with this, and just everything that comes up. It's a little bit harder to do that. So we're just going to do what we can, and hopefully people still enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you love us and you really, really want to show it, we do have a Patreon. Go to the website, post on there, and maybe that'll give us the kick in the ass.
Because right now I currently live about 30 minutes away from the B3 studio, and so Jeremy is on a mission to get me 3B. Yeah,
It's one of them.
did it B3, 3B? But so Jeremy's on a mission to try and get me to move out to Olathe,
Or at least closer to this
a
way.
little closer. Yeah.
After 2 episodes, again, you said you were not going to move there ever.
Yeah.
But
Hey, there's a bedroom right there.
Hey,
Yeah, just rent out your basement to Brandon.
Dude,
can I have a toy room too?
think how fucked up we'd get all the time if you lived here. Oh my god.
Oh my god,
You'd be divorced within a month.
Yes. Oh my god, we could
I
probably
don't know.
get to
You're good with kids, though. I mean,
yeah.
You know, this might work out.
Yeah.
Look, we'll put a TV right here. You have your own space, your own bathroom.
room for my studio down here.
Yeah.
For my music.
All right, Travis, I think you had some quick hitters for us.
Yeah. So we come across these, and they're just too funny not to talk about. I got to talk to somebody about them. And the first one is in honor of Jeremy just making his drink, which you've heard us talk about this a lot.
Yep.
We drink a lot of Red Bull vodkas, and there's like a very specific way you make the best Red Bull vodka. Jeremy always asks me to make it for him. But you're the one with like the bartending degree, right?
I know, but I have a bit of a heavy hand when it comes to pouring, so I just dump it in and then add in the Red Bull. You actually take a shot glass out and, so give your...
Well, I have to because
give
I
your
have no other-
perfect recipe.
Okay, so just like a regular kitchen glass, fill it all the way up with ice, all the way to the top, 2 3/4 shots of Absolute vodka, and then fill up the rest with Red Bull.
And it gives the perfect...
It's perfect.
You can't even taste the vodka.
Yeah.
They'll fuck you up. But here's the thing is I can't just pound beer after beer after beer. It gets, I don't know, to the point where it's like, I don't know. It's just, it does nothing for me. It's just...
Yeah.
It just makes me peel
Well,
a
you
lot.
need
And then
to-
Yeah.
I take my drunk up in very slight, small increments. So I'll have like 3-4 beers, mix in a Red Bull vodka, and then go back to the beer.
Yeah.
And then maybe a few beers later, mix up one more. So I usually don't go too nuts. Maybe 2 and a
Yeah, and
one
drinking,
drunk.
Yeah, and one drunk. That's probably where I'm at too. The problem is I came across this, Jeremy, because we love Red Bull vodkas. RBVs is what we call them. A new study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research, we'll post a link, suggests this potent mix compounds the effects of heavy drinking and increases the risk of fighting, violence, participation in risky behaviors.
That's my middle name. Risky Behaviors Breckenridge.
And you don't even drink RBV.
I don't. I drink enough coffee. I try and avoid drinks that have caffeine in them because I drink coffee like it's going out of style.
Yeah, Red Bull. I remember one time I went to St. Louis. So I guess St. Louis has the second largest Mardi Gras celebration, just behind New Orleans. And so I went there once, and this was sort of when the Red Bull vodka craze just started.
Yeah.
So we were like drinking a ton of them, like maybe just in a whole night just drinking Red Bull vodkas, and like you get to
That
the
will
point
give
where
you
you
a
wonder if
hangover.
your head's
Yes.
if your heart's gonna shoot out of your chest and run down the street. But like
So
the
you're
next
telling me
morning,
I'm not going to sleep all night and wake up in a hangover? With
Yeah.
a hangover?
well,
Count me in.
so I wake up the next morning and take my morning deuce. So it's like shining green out of the damn toilet. Like you probably could have turned the light out and it would have glowed.
What is that thing? The Geiger counters that measure radioactivity?
What's that stuff? GAC? is that remember
Yeah,
that? GAC?
uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
what it,
yeah.
Okay. No, you had a nickname in high school. Do you remember what it was? Sammy Spectrum.
Sammy Spectrum.
Because you would shit different colors. So that's what this is basically.
And
I
you're-
think that's enough hot shit talk for one episode.
And you're the only person I've actually witnessed throw up on the ceiling. I thought that was humanly impossible.
Well, I've
until I
done
met
that
you.
more than once.
So apparently, I don't know if you saw this either. Tom Cruise, he does a lot of he does and says a lot of weird shit. Tom Cruise is one of the weirdest Hollywood people.
Oh,
but
he's a
apparently-
Scientologist, first of all.
Apparently, he didn't know that you could watch porn on the internet. How was that possible? I didn't know there was any other place to watch porn.
Yeah.
Wasn't the internet born to birth porn?
Exactly. Yeah. Like literally since dial-up, that's where I've gotten my porn. Although I did work at Priscilla's for one day, and you get free movie rentals. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
did they did they fire you, or did you just never show back up?
I never showed back up. And here's the thing. I thought it was going to be like strippers and stuff. And it's just really awkward men all day. like they come up to the counter and they won't make eye contact
That
with
seems
you.
like-
And it's really weird.
It seems like your perfect type stupid job.
I know. I should have stayed there because apparently Priscilla's strippers get like 25% off because they sell like clear heels and stuff. So I thought that might be an in. So if I would have stuck with it, I might have, got to meet some strippers, but it was mostly just really awkward men. Yeah, but he's a Scientologist. He's weird. And you know what's the weirdest thing about I for the longest time the guy's like 5 foot tall, and I never knew that for like the longest because he's in action movies, and I always thought he was like 7 foot tall. Like he's a badass, but the guy's like tiny.
Hey, just because you're short doesn't mean you can't be a badass. So apparently, speaking of badass, like that segue, man arrested for killing friend for blasting compressed air up rectum.
Rectum damn near killed him.
So dude, they like do this in
Rectum
Japan.
actually killed him.
Dude. So apparently, this is like some kind of semi-common thing that people do in Japan. Like it's like, dude, have you ever seen those weird ass TV shows that they have in Japan? Do you ever come across?
It is the weird. That's the weirdest culture.
One of them I saw was 2 girls with a tube and a cockroach in it, and they were trying to blow the cockroach into each other's mouth. Like you were trying to blow so it didn't get in your mouth.
Yeah,
They have
What
like
the
crazy
fuck?
sex fetish, like all kinds of crazy shit. Where like girls will just stick their butt through like a circle in a wall basically, and like the guys will go around and like feel them and try to find their wives or whatever, like which one is their wife and shit like that, like like sex game shows. Weird.
Oh, and it's weird too because they like blur genitals, so they're like extremely like risque with their public television, but at the same time they blur the genitals.
So it's there. It's just being blurred out.
Yeah.
So a man was arrested in Japan after a prank, shooting compressed air deep into a workmate.
Deep.
They had to add that in there. Deep into a workmate's rear end. It ended in tragedy. But the crime, while bizarre, is far from unique in Japan, where a common childhood practice may explain a succession of adult deaths, blah, 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 related to the air compressor. So
is this like a
apparently-
practical joke, or are they getting off on this?
So I think it's like a prank, practical joke type of thing that they do there. And finally, some
and who
guy
carries
died.
around compressed air with like every time it charges
The
back
fucking
up?
guy from No Country for Old Men. That's who
Exactly.
the fuck carries around compressed
I've never
air.
seen that movie.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
There's all
Oh,
kinds
dude.
of movies and shows that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
You should see people at my work the other day when I told them I've never seen 24 or Lost.
I haven't seen 24, but Lost is good.
24. That's Jack Bauer, right?
Yep.
I've never
Bauer.
seen it. I know almost everything
No,
about
dude,
it. 'cause-
Javier Bardem in No Country
Yeah.
for Old Men, the best bad guy in any movie ever. He is.
Maybe I'll have to put that one
it's
on the list.
fucking chilling because he's got that just cold demeanor.
Yeah. It's
and there's like
fucking awesome.
and there's these long drawn out scenes where he's about to do something fucked up, but he's just got this long draw and it's just so tense. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Coen Brothers.
Yeah. But who does? But you know what? Here's the thing, though. It does kind of remind me of the trend now in America with the airbags. People sitting on airbags. That's compressed
Sitting
air.
on airbags.
You know the videos where that like, it shoots people up in the air, basically
yeah.
explodes.
God damn,
That's
people are
compressed
stupid.
air.
Have you seen the one where? Oh my God, my head hurts when I think about people these days. So there's all these like YouTube like fads that go on, like eating the Tide Pods and that stupid shit.
Yeah.
Well, I saw one the other day where people get like. You remember like sternos, like that you use for eating like Schaefer dishes and shit like that to keep them hot? Well, they basically got this like jelly type stuff inside of them that burns, so it's sort of like a liquid candle almost. Like, well, they'll put some sort of material like that, like on their hand or body somewhere, and light it on fire.
What?
Yes,
Really?
and then try to put it out real fast, or like jump in a pool. Like, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is what happens when we make life too cozy, where you're not like hunting food anymore. You don't have to worry about people coming over to your house and raping your women and stealing your bounty of gold. Like
Stealing your women and raping your horses.
this is what happens when life gets a little too easy. People start doing stupid shit. Well, you play stupid games and you get stupid prizes, because I've seen a lot of videos of people fucking themselves up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
We just got a message from our friend Drake. He's at the Chiefs Chargers game today in Los Angeles, and he just said that there are a fuck ton of Chiefs fans there. So that's good to know.
so a fuck ton in their soccer stadium. We should have like half the stadium. You should text him back and ask him if he listened to my diss track.
All right, I will. Which hopefully, are we going to play that? Do you want?
Well,
to
I'd like to play them. We might just tag him at the end of the episode,
Okay.
like after the episode's all the way done.
Okay.
So if you don't like fantasy football and couldn't care less, don't listen. If you do, if you like a little shit talking and a stupid rap battle between two owners,
bad white rap.
well, we implemented a new rule. Okay, so a quick fantasy thing, and I know not everybody does this, so I'll keep it brief. We're in a long time keeper league, like probably 14 or 15 years at this point, because we had 3 years before the site that we're on now. Anyways, we've started implementing rules like the winner of the league gets to rename someone's division. The worst team in the league gets their team renamed by the other people in the league, which is great opportunity to like really shit talk people. Well, this year we pick one game each week, and the two owners have to do basically post a shit talking something. Now it could be a video, a song, a meme, a written post. It could be anything. So this is the first week we've done it, and this fucking dipshit decides to drop a diss track on me. Somebody who's never rapped a lick in their life.
Well,
and it's just about as bad as you would think, but in a funny way. And then I had to, clap back, as the kids say these days. So if you're interested in that, stick around at the end of the show, and we'll put those at the end. But anywho, so do we have anything else story we want to get to today? All right, Travis, let's hit that exit music here. It really gets me in the mood to end these shows properly. See, when you hear that, you know what time it is. And for me, what that means is it's time to down this motherfucking Red Bull and vodka, go over and start watching some mother effing football.
Is he drinking or no?
Yeah, he's 2 beers and a shot of whiskey in.
I doubt that.
He wouldn't lie to me about something as sacred as drinking on Chiefs Sunday. So hopefully we get to watch this first Patrick Mahomes victory of this brand new season. So,
Travis, you just don't want Jeremy to leave.
I want someone to drink and watch the game with.
Brandon,
but
you're
I have
up.
a 2-year-old, so I can't. What kind of homework do you have? We'll do it later together.
Yeah,
I mean, you're moving in anyway. So.
I just got to go home so I can masturbate. Really. It's been 24
I've got
hours
internet
now.
here.
You do?
Yeah.
Unlike Tom Cruise, Brandon is very aware that there's porn online.
Painfully aware.
Painfully. Well, so that's about all we have for you this week. When you hear this, the next time you're going to hear us is most likely going to be when we're in Mexico.
Yes.
So look out for that. That will be, as we record this, what is that, about a week and a half from today is when we leave?
Yes.
So as this is released, it'll probably be roughly 7-8 days from when we get to sunny Mexico, where we can act like fucking heathens in a whole different country.
Yes.
And I get to flaunt my, mediocre Spanish speaking skills. But all right, that's it. That's it for this week. We hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please, here's what we ask of you. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. But more importantly than subscribing is try to turn this on to a friend. Share it with somebody, a coworker, a family member, a friend, whoever. If you like it and you think it's funny, if we've made you laugh at least a few times, help us grow this thing so we'll keep us motivated to keep doing these damn things. If you could do that for us, we will keep pumping out this 6 out of 10 stars podcast. But that's all I got. It's been real. It's been fun. It hasn't been real fun. Brandon, hit him with your line.
I forgot
You
what
usually
it was.
say, love you guys.
Oh, yeah. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Pinky and the Brain Show. For more info, check out pinkyandthebrainshow.com.